If you're trying to revive your TPT store, then we need to talk. I've gotten this question many times from TPT sellers where you've started your TPT business, you've put some products in your store, you maybe even seen a few sales, done a little marketing, and then boom, life got crazy, things were hectic, and you just didn't have the time or the energy to invest in your TPT business anymore. And now you're at a point where like, okay, life has slowed down, or maybe you've realized just it's not going to slow down. And so you're ready to refocus your energy and efforts on your TPT business, but you don't know where to start. Because when you come back into the business, it starts to feel overwhelming, just like it did when you were a brand new seller. Like, okay, do I revive that old Instagram account? Do I start fresh? Do I continue finishing out that product line? Do I start a new one? Am I supposed to start with email marketing? What do I say to my email list who I haven't emailed in months, or I haven't even started an email list? Is that where I'm supposed to start? So we're going to break it down today. We're going to make things really simple for you. And if you're watching and you're like, I haven't abandoned my TPT store, but I'm feeling really unmotivated and I'm struggling to find enough energy to even care to kind of get going again. Well, we're going to talk about that today. So let's talk about quick wins and the importance of a quick win. Number one, you need to focus on the quick win. The quick win is super important when you're getting back into the swing of things or you're trying to refine your motivation. When I'm talking about a quick win, I'm not just talking about like maybe updating a cover or writing a checklist or opening your computer, although some of those could certainly be quick wins. What I'm talking about is something that provides an equal emphasis on both the quick and the win. We want it to be a true win. We want you to feel like you've actually accomplished something and moved your business forward, but we also want to do this quick. Now, we're not talking about 5-10 minutes, but we're talking about something that you can do in one sit down period that's either going to boost your motivation or make you feel like you've accomplished something inside of your business. And the key for this quick win is that you don't want it to be connected to anything that's stressing you out already in your business. What that means is that if I am stressed out by email, then a quick win for me is probably not going to be trying to figure out what I should send to my email list who's been abandoned for the last 6 months. That's not going to be a quick win. It might be a win if you do it, but it's going to be a pretty stressful one, okay? What we're talking about here is something that is completely detached from the things that are overwhelming you currently in your business. We're talking about choosing a win that is going to be quick, easy, painless. And for most people, that's going to be something like creating a new resource. When you're creating a new resource, you're kind of going back to the beginnings of your TPT business. When you were feeling inspired, you were feeling motivated, and you were feeling excited about the resources that you were creating and bringing to the teacher community. And that's the kind of thing that we want to recapture in order to get you back into the groove. So here's what I would focus on if I were starting back. I wouldn't go to a template or anything like that. I would sit down and I would do a 30-minute brain dump. I would get a piece of paper and some colorful pens. I would write down a list of all the coolest products that you could think of to create. And at first, these ideas might not come to you. So in the beginning of you creating this list, you might sit there for a minute, but I want you to at least start by writing something down. So it may not be the most exciting or the most incredible product that you're thinking of in the beginning, but I guarantee you if you start to write down something really simple like task cards, which isn't exciting or interesting, but if I write that down and then I ask myself, what would make task cards fun? And I start trying to think of ways to make those engaging or interesting, then the ideas can start to flow. Probably about 20 to 25 minutes into the process, you're going to have so many ideas, you're not going to be able to write them down fast enough. And some of them probably not going to be very good, but the whole goal here is to just start to brainstorm. After that 30 minutes, I want you to take 5 minutes to go back over your list and see, is there anything on that list that's not going to make any sense to me when I come back to it in an hour? You know how sometimes you jot something down so fast and you're like, wow, this is an amazing idea. I'm never going to forget this idea. I'm just going to write a quick note about it because I'm never going to forget what this idea was. And then you come back to it 30 minutes later and you're like, what the heck was that? I know it was great, but I'm never going to remember it. Take a moment, take 5 minutes, look over that list and make any necessary notes to that list that you need to make. And then you're going to put the list away, because that's what you're going to do for right now. You can come back in 20, 30 minutes, an hour later, or even the next day. And from that list, I want you to pick one resource that you think, I can make a template for this right now. And I want you to start making the template. Even if you can't finish it in that designated period of time, you can at least come back to it the next day and you know exactly what you're working on. And what we're doing is we are honing in on this one thing that is separate from all the rest of the overwhelming stuff in our business. And we are going to get this one quick win. We're going to get it done. We're going to create the template and then we're going to create a product from that template. We're going to list it and we're going to feel really good about it. Now, it may be that after you finish creating that first product and putting it up and you've gotten that quick win, that you say to yourself, okay, now I feel like I have something that I can tell my audience about. So instead of showing up on social media and saying, you know what, guys, I've been gone for a really long time, but I'm back. You can say, you know what, guys, I've been gone for a while, but it's because I've been working on something really special and I'm excited to share it with you. And this is what it is. So the focus isn't so much on I'm gone and now I'm back. The focus is I've been creating something special for you. And now you have a message that adds value to them and to your relationship with them, rather than just being like, I was gone, now I'm here, and let's start chatting again, right? We have some sort of message to give. So that's why it's super important to focus on the quick win, because a lot of times once we get that quick win in, everything else seems to start to line up. Like, oh, now I have a product created, so I've gotten the ball rolling. I'm actually making progress on my TPT business. And because I'm making progress on my TPT business, I feel more confident about showing up in other aspects of my business. I feel more confident about sending that note to followers, feel more confident about sending that email, showing up on social media, even if it's just talking on stories. I start to feel a little bit more confident because I have something to talk about other than just the fact that I ghosted them, right? So that would be step one for me. Step one, create the quick win. Step two, then use that quick win as fuel to approach the areas of your business that feel a little overwhelming. Now, if you have other things in your business that are feeling overwhelming, because maybe you have that product line that burned you out in the first place, where maybe you thought, I'm going to create a whole curriculum for second grade science. And now you're like, I don't want to see another second grade science resource for the rest of my life, but you still know you need to finish it. So one thing that you can do is you can put a system in place for yourself, where once you've completed so many of those tasks, like once I've created 5 Pinterest pins, then I have to go and I have to create one more of these resources, or I have to spend 30 minutes working on that product, whatever it is. I'm sure there's a more scientific, psychological name for it than this, but this is what I call the protein and berry motivation method. It's a silly name and I don't actually call it that, but that's what I think of every single time I set up a method like this in my business, because my 4-year-old follows the same method at dinner time. You eat your protein and then you can eat your berries. And we have to do the same thing in our business sometimes, because let's face it, we're all humans. We all have things we don't want to do. So sometimes you got to find something that's going to motivate you to do the tough thing. So if you spend 30 minutes working on this product, or if you batch out 2 emails, then you can work on this part of your business. And I do this a lot myself all the time. And when I run out of business things that are fun, then I think of something else fun to do. And then we start a really unhealthy cycle that we're not going to talk about in this podcast. All right, so let's review. Number 1, if you're trying to jump back in or get remotivated inside of your business, one of the biggest things that you can do is find a quick win that you can accomplish in your business that is completely detached from the items in your business that are stressing you out or causing you to feel overwhelmed. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to use that quick win as fuel to start on the overwhelming tasks, right? So like sending out that email or jumping back into social media. And then finally, what you want to do is you want to create a method for managing the overwhelm. I'm going to do these things, and then when I finish these things, I get to do this over here in my business. And so that way it creates a little bit of balance, because let's face it, if I knew that starting my business back up guaranteed that I was going to have to do things that I don't like right away, I would never start it back. And that's the truth. And that's going to be the truth for the vast majority of people. So we want to start by focusing on doing the things that you love, and then creating a balance between doing the things that are reinvigorating you and doing the things that are overwhelming you. Unfortunately, we can't run a business by just ignoring the overwhelming and stressful parts of the business, because that wouldn't be a business, that would be a hobby, and that would make you hobby money, which is probably not what you're interested in, because in this economy, hobby money isn't even going to cover the cost of your hobby. So we don't don't want that. We want business money. And in order to do that, we are going to have to do the things that we don't want to do, but we can find a balance and create a plan for that in the very beginning. Because if I have to sit at the table until I'm finished with my spinach, probably never going to eat again, or at the very least, I'm going to have an unhealthy relationship with eating. And the same is true for my business. If I can't get started until I do the things that I don't want to do, then I'm probably never going to do them, or I'm going to have an unhealthy relationship with my business. So go ahead and build that balance in. This is the part where I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Drop a comment below with what motivates you to work. Maybe it's your favorite drink. Sometimes I'll tell myself, once you're finished with this task, then you can go make yourself your favorite iced latte. Or if you go and work right now, then you can take this chocolate peanut butter snack in there with you and you can eat it while you work. Sometimes it's external motivators that work the best, but whatever it is for you, drop it down in the comments. What always reinvigorates you or makes you feel more motivated to work on TPT? Because that will help inspire other sellers, and it will also help other people find this video. So when you like this video, when you comment below, it helps other sellers find my videos, find my content that I put out for free, which I'm happy to do, but I want more people to find it. That's one of my goals for 2025. You can help me do that by hitting that like button, dropping a little comment below, and making sure that you're subscribed and that you have notifications turned on for this channel. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. I'm going to see you in the next video.